Welcome back to Cabin View Ventures. Today we are going to do a little unboxing of the Kindling Cracker that I just bought. And we're going to talk about a couple different ways you can split kindling. We're going to do a little comparison between how I usually split my kindling and trying this thing. And I'm still not sure why I bought this. You know, this is probably proof that targeted marketing does work eventually. I mean, I've probably seen ads for this at least 100 times before I decided to try it out. I don't really have a need for it. I mean, the way I split my kindling now works just fine. You know, just put a piece of firewood on a log and start chopping it down into small pieces and you have your kindling, right? Like, really not that difficult to do. But I was on Northern Tool's website. I needed to buy a new pump for my sprayer, and this popped up in one of their specials. I think it was like $20 off, so it was on sale for $110. This is, if not the most expensive one out there, one of the most expensive ones out there. I think I've seen them on Amazon anywhere from $50 to $100. They vary in size. This is the king size, so we'll see how big it is when we open it up, see what size log we can fit in it, and just see how it works. Alright, so the Kindling Cracker is one of the major brands that makes these, made in Australia, solid cast iron construction. Obviously you just use a little sledgehammer to knock your wood through. I think this is a 4-pound sledgehammer, so this is what we're going to use today. And then here's a little story on the back. So it says, a clever idea from New Zealand. You know, they burn a lot of firewood in New Zealand. It gets pretty cold there. And a must for every home and campsite, the Kindling Cracker firewood splitter makes it easy to split firewood quickly and safely without an axe. Teenage inventor Ayla Hutchinson. Oh, that's pretty cool. Teenage inventor designed the Kindling Cracker firewood splitter for everyday home use in New Zealand's icy, rugged Taranaki region. So, pretty neat story. You know, a need that anytime a teenager or a young kid does something inventive or comes up with a pretty neat product, you know, I think that's pretty cool. So, makes me feel a little bit better about spending $110 on this thing. Definitely fills up the entire box. Wow. This thing is huge. I don't even know if it's gonna fit on the log. Yeah, just barely. So here you go. Actually really neat. This thing is really big. Says made in Australia right on it. It's got a little plastic foot underneath. I think you take that off. Yeah. That's probably just to protect the box when it's shipping. Definitely don't need that. It's got little cutouts on the front and the back of it. So that's how you screw it down. Hopefully that works okay. Seems like it might have been better if they had some towards the outside of the feet that you can screw straight down in, but we'll see how well that holds. That's 8 3/4 inch opening on this. It is 17 inches tall. It's heavy too. I mean, it's probably close to 10 pounds. So we're gonna mount this on this piece of black walnut that I have. That should be fine. This is actually a really cool piece of black walnut I've been saving, because when I was cutting this thing, so this was a black walnut tree that was out in front of my house, and we cut it down probably 2 years ago. It was just an area that we were cleaning up that was kind of ugly looking. So actually, no, the power company came by and cut these down. And then we were cleaning up all the down debris that they left along the side of the road and on our property. So not a big deal. I mean, it was a junk tree that had to come down anyway. But when I was cutting it up into firewood, I ended up cutting right down the middle of a nail inside the log. So take a look at this. I mean, what are the odds of that you're gonna cut right through a nail inside a log? So I saved it. I didn't want to burn it or get rid of it. I found some 3.5 inch long by 1/2 inch wide lags, and that looks like it's going to be the right size, at least the top. So you need something at least 1/2 inch screw, and you probably wanted a good 2.5 to 3 inches long at least, just to get a good bite. I mean, you're just hammering straight down on this thing, so I doubt there's going to be too much force, you know, going back and forth. So it shouldn't come loose, but you know, we'll find out. All right, you need a big log, some big screws, and a big driver to put this together. This base is 11 inches long by 11 inch, almost 11 inches wide. I mean, this is a 13.5 inch log. So, you know, you need a good amount of surface space to mount this. You know, a nice heavy log. Like this is a nice heavy chunk of black walnut. You know, a piece of oak would be even better if you have something like that to spare. Yeah, it's gonna be a good piece of firewood, but I mean, this thing is on there, rock solid. So let's try it out. So we've got two methods we're gonna use. The way I've been splitting my kindling for years, this is my tried and true and trusty Husqvarna. I think this is the carpenter's axe. This thing is awesome. It has a really nice forged head on it. I'm pretty sure these are hand forged in Sweden, and I'm pretty sure that it's either Gränsfors or Holzbruks. I think it's Gränsfors that makes these heads and sells them to Husqvarna. So really, really good forged head on this thing, and it is really sharp out of the box. So really nice tool for splitting firewood, camping. Sometimes I keep it in my side-by-side and I'm just driving around in the woods. It comes in handy for a lot of stuff, and it's a good size too. It's not cheap. This is a 20-inch. It's got a 20-inch really nice hickory handle on it. So nice tool. So we're gonna grab, these are 2 pieces of red oak. We're gonna try these 2 little pieces of hickory. Let's do 2 more red oaks. Got some ash we can split. Alright, so let's start off with this. This is a nice skinny one. This is like perfect for something you'd hold and split with this little axe. This thing works so good because it's really sharp, so it's easy to just get it started, right, and then hammer it down, and boom. Let's try this piece of hickory. Alright, did those 2, no problem. Let's try this thing. We're just going to go right down the middle here. That's pretty nice. So it's actually kind of nice how you can like hold the piece of wood the whole time and just break little pieces off of it. You definitely don't need a 4-pound sledge. This is a little heavy. You know, it's just kind of line it up like to the size that you want. So this is like a knotty little piece of hickory. Let's see how that does in here. Ah, no problem. Right through it. Let's try this piece of ash here. I mean, it's nice because it's so big that you can move like a big log. You know, this is like a typical size piece of firewood I would cut. I mean, that's a 4.5 inch log right there. I can put that right up on the edge. Yeah, look at that. Break that edge right off. Spin it. Let's catch that piece. This thing's really nice. I definitely like it. You're not worrying about chopping your fingers with that thing. You're not picking them up off the ground after every hit because you're just holding it. You're just hammering it down, it's still in your hand. Crack the next piece off. So you're not bending over as much. Any of you guys or girls that have kids out there that like to help you in the wood yard, you know, you can let them go to town on this thing. You don't have to worry about them getting hurt. I mean, I guess you could still get hurt, but, you know, you get hurt walking down the street, too. This thing works great, guys. It's definitely easier. It's definitely safer. I mean, you could probably spend an hour and get all your kindling done for the entire firewood season. Right down on a knot. That's about 6 logs and a nice big pile of kindling. Screws are holding tight. All right, that's gonna wrap up our video on the Kindling Cracker. Definitely impressed, highly recommend it. It is definitely safer and faster than just doing it with an axe like the way I have been for years. You know, it seems like a nice sturdy product. Looks like it's gonna hold up for a long time. So really happy with the $110 that I spent on it. Thanks for joining us. If you like our content, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. See you on the next one.